So what are those things that the client or buyer wants to see the most? Well, we've already mentioned the most important tool that every buyer wants to see. Search the MLS or search all properties. But did you know that there's an even more important tool that you can use to solidify your relationship? The more important and interactive method of providing access to the listing data is the use of the Subscribe to New Listings or New Listing Alerts widget. Think of this as an automated version of the Search the MLS feature. Instead of having to type in the search parameters over and over again, the buyer can just do it once, and the program will email daily updates for new listings or price changes. And while your competition is scratching their heads wondering how to get the buyer's information, this is a tool that the buyer will want to provide their information. Why? Because it's to their benefit. The root of the Subscribe to New Listings widget or tool is the IDX. Remember, that is Internet Data Exchange service, of which it is a part. Many IDX services have this and the Quick Search widget, but many do not. Before purchasing an IDX service, you should make sure to find out all you can about what services they offer and get recommendations from those who use their service. The Subscribe to New Listings or New Listings Alerts is an incredible benefit to your buyers. It also protects them from unscrupulous real estate agents who call and misrepresent properties just to get the buyer to see a property. It also gives them the information directly from the MLS instead of secondhand. Real estate agents need to become educated as to sharing their services, which means their listing data as well, rather than trying to keep it proprietary. What do you think it tells a buyer that you'll share the MLS listings with them, but only if they give you their name and email information? This creates a brick wall between you and the viewer, as they don't want to work with any agents until they're ready. That's why the Subscribe to New Listings is so powerful. You're offering a service first, and then as a part of that service, it's their option to give you their information. This not only works to the agent's benefit, but also to the public's benefit as well. They are building a trust with the agent based upon mutual benefit. The only reason why this feature or widget might not work is if there's no IDX service. Well, if that's the case, no problem. You can also do this manually, like the old days, by checking the MLS on a daily basis for them. Let's break down the Search the MLS feature and demonstrate why it's so popular and the amazing number of people that are misusing it. First of all, I recently did a Google search for Subscribe to New Listings with quote marks, meaning an exact search, and received over 1.4 million results. The same search without the quote marks, meaning a general search, brought up 166 million results. Bottom line, there's a ton of traffic for this particular feature. Even when you parse out the fact that the word listings can mean more than real estate, the general term for the most part is used for real estate. So far, we've established that a large number of people are using this feature. Are you? The real question is, are you using it correctly? After perusing through dozens of these results and seeing hundreds used wrong in my line of work, I've come to the conclusion that agents just don't get it. They don't think like a buyer. They only think for themselves, what they want. So let's take a look at how agents that use this feature properly make between $50,000 to $100,000 of passive income just from their website. Step 1. You must have either an IDX system that has this widget, or purchase a third-party IDX, or decide to do this manually each day. Obviously, having an IDX company that will continually update these searches is far preferable. Step 2. Once you've decided which tool or widget you're going to use, you're going to need to make sure that it can be modified to work as follows. Instead of asking the buyer's name, phone number, and email first, you must make sure that you ask for their property parameters first. This is imperative, and I can't stress it enough. If you ask for their personal information before you show them what you're going to be delivering them, you've lost them. Step 3. Have a nice, long, advanced search form for them to fill out. The longer it is, the more they'll be invested in the outcome. It's rather like fishing. The more you can set the hook, the more likely you've got them invested in the process. Step 4. Okay, now that you've got them to fill out this form with everything that they want, now it's your turn. Remember in the old Columbo shows with Peter Falk, when he'd get to the door at the end of the show, remember what he'd say? He'd say, "Oh, by the way," and you knew he had the bad guy. By the same token, after they've filled in the search parameters, your form will basically say, "Oh, by the way, if you want me to keep you updated with all these new properties as they come available, I'll need your name, phone number, and of course, your email address." This is like Search the MLS on steroids. Getting their information now from here is no problem.